All right, what challenges do I think starting a Booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? So I'm sharing this video in large part because I want to help anyone out there who is trying to grow a Booktube channel or a YouTube channel more generally. This video also pertains to the Booktube Newbie tag questions, but my project for answering all of these questions is to do so in a way which communicates valuable information to all those that are in the space. For me, the hardest part of starting a Booktube channel by far has been enduring painfully slow growth for more than a year and after producing more than 100 videos. But in hindsight, my channel's lack of rapid growth is pretty clearly my own fault, and in today's video, I'm going to tell you why so that you can avoid those same mistakes. And I'm also telling you why because I think the biggest lesson I've learned extends far beyond the realm, let's say, of YouTube. What I've learned has spilled over into my professional life and my personal life alike. As always, I've linked a few essays in the description down below because I want to use this platform to steer you in the direction of educational resources and potential results that are real and tangible. So these essays are ones I used to teach my undergraduate students when I was teaching at Johns Hopkins University. There are two essays by Joan Didion. There's one essay called 1,000 True Fans, which I've talked at great lengths about in the past. There's one by Zadie Smith, and we'll see what other craft essay I throw in there. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's worthwhile. So if you want more great content about how to master the subjects of reading and writing so that you can use these fundamental tools to achieve your goals and actualize your full potential, hit that subscribe button and leave me an introductory comment in the comment section down below. And as I always say, I will type you paragraphs in response. And I also want to add that if you do leave a thoughtful comment that provokes some deep response from me that ends up being too long to type, I'll discuss it in a series I'm going to start doing in the near future. The working title is Comment Section Saturday because I've noticed that I do get a lot of long comments, and balancing like a 40-hour work week and YouTube, writing scripts, editing, on top of like hours and hours of comment replies is just not something I can sustain. So I'm trying to do like maybe a video to answer a lot of questions. But anyways, okay, enough of this. Let's start the video. Go. What the greatest challenge has been to starting a Booktube channel, what's been the hardest to overcome is by far continuing to consistently produce content in the face of receiving very little feedback or positive encouragement. And that's definitely a simple way of putting it, but really the idea is deeper, so let me explain why. So for the record, I'm not complaining. Maybe I'm complaining a little. Truthfully, the way I see it, this is just how things go for the overwhelming majority of content creators. I'm highlighting what's been the hardest thing to overcome for me because I think there's something that can be, for all intents and purposes, of universal value for anyone trying to start a Booktube channel or any sort of YouTube channel, or engage in the conceptualization and creative execution of a long-term, like entrepreneurial or artistic project, which is a mouthful. To put it more simply, if you watch YouTube, you probably know who Mr. Beast is. I sometimes watch his videos, but I'm not necessarily like a Mr. Beast consumer, but he has 153 million total subscribers and more than 20 billion views, which is to say that he understands YouTube, and there's probably something that I can learn from him. So a while back I was watching like a lot of the interviews that he's done, and he said something that resonated with me, which was your first 100 videos will be the worst 100 videos you make. And I bring that quote up now because it offers a valuable perspective for anyone interested in creating YouTube videos, regardless of the niche. And really, the process I think he highlighted transcends not only Booktube, but YouTube itself. The reality is, no matter what field you're working in, no matter what job you're working, no matter what craft you're trying to master, your first 100 reps will, without a doubt, be your worst. This is something I found on YouTube, in my personal life, in my professional life, and I'm sure a couple of different examples come to your mind too. When I was completing my undergraduate coursework at the University of Wisconsin, I studied creative writing. Eventually, I was accepted into one of the best creative writing programs in the United States at Johns Hopkins, but what stood between my acceptance into a master's program and my initial decision to dedicate myself to literature and creative writing, which is something I talked about in last week's video, what stood between them were thousands and thousands and thousands of hours, painful hours of writing and rewriting and reading and rereading, and my experience with YouTube over the course of the last year echoes that same experience, but not completely, because when I wrote a bad story, it was just bad and I would throw it away and that was it. Nobody would see it. The value, I think, of writing, of drafting extended no further than the time I spent writing and editing. And for me, the difference, what does kind of make YouTube a little bit easier, is that even if I make a bad video on YouTube, which I definitely have, there are plenty of videos on my channel with next to no views, but in theory, at least, they can still help me grow. So maybe that isn't the best way of thinking about it, but my point is that the videos I make at least have the ability to work across time for me as physical assets in a way which the hundreds and hundreds of short stories and novel chapters and poems which I've drafted do not. So I say that because I hope if you're trying to create a Booktube channel or any YouTube channel that, this is something that keeps you going. Every time you produce a video and you send it out there, it goes out to find a home on its own. The algorithm sends it out or sends it to whoever. And it's a way in which the video is kind of working for you in a way that I think, I'll use the word assets again, assets that aren't digital, or at least aren't, posted to YouTube, don't necessarily work for you. Maybe that makes the challenges that you'll face a little easier, but that's just an upside, I'll say, of what I've found to this point. Maybe if I would have posted the stories or novel chapters or poems on a blog or website of mine, it'd be a different story, but I didn't do that because I didn't understand what a powerful tool the internet was until I had done that work. So hopefully I'm making sense. If I'm not, leave me a comment, say so in the comments, say you are not making sense in the comments, and I'll try to respond with something clarifying and not confusing. So now let me rephrase my main point. I expect that the hardest part of starting this channel will continue to be the implications of producing work in a community that is heavily saturated with great creators. My cope, for lack of a better wording, is that that's how everything is. If I didn't believe that someday this will be a much larger channel than it is at the time of this video's recording, I would pack my stuff up, look for something else to apply myself to, and find exactly the same fundamental process underlying some other pursuit. And I want to communicate that more than just about anything else in this video because, for whatever reason you've been brought to this video, obviously, yes, the algorithm put it on your feed, your timeline, but your interests are such that you wound up clicking and watching, which I am grateful for. But my hope is that by explaining my experience to you, I can help you on your journey, because everything takes time. Even if you apply yourself and are ruthlessly efficient, it will almost always take a lot of time for your efforts to compound and for you to master your skill, to master whatever craft it is that you're, laboring at. So maybe the most challenging thing about starting a Booktube channel can be stated simply as not allowing my ebbing and flowing motivation and lack of positive feedback and slow growth to discourage me enough to stop making videos. And I hope this message resonates out there with somebody who's in the space, because it can be tough, but I think that if we can foster a greater sense of community, that it'll be in everybody's best interest. So yeah, let me know what your biggest challenge is in the comment section down below. I'm about to wrap this video up, but yeah, I do want to say that at this point, I feel like there's a threshold where you kind of cross over, and I do think that I am definitely in too deep at this point to turn back, or to like justifiably turn back. I've made like 100 plus videos and dedicated like more than a year of my time to getting this channel where it is today. So throwing in the towel would do a disservice to all of the hard work that has led me to this place. And you know, again, maybe that's not the most encouraging thing, but whatever work you've put in to grow your channel, I just feel like you kind of owe it to your past self to keep going. It's not always easy, but yeah, it's been meaningful for me so far, and I hope that this kind of motivates you to keep going. Again, if you have any questions, if there's anything I can do to help, leave me a comment, and I'll type you paragraphs. But as always, I want to find another way to make this video's content valuable for you. So I am closing with a quote. Now today, it isn't exactly a quote. It's a poem by Langston Hughes, which might land as as cliche, but you know, it is what it is. I'm shooting my shot, so here it goes. The poem is titled Dreams. It's a famous poem. It's only 8 lines. The basic meter is iambic dimeter, which, you know, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Dimeter. I don't think it's dimeter. I'm pretty sure it's dimeter, but, you know, this is me, like, you know, was at a great MFA program. Don't actually know how to pronounce this. I'm a fiction writer. Go easy on me. Anyways, iambic dimeter, meaning each line has 2 iambs, poetic feet with an unstressed and stressed syllable beat pattern. So I will read the poem now. Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow. So hopefully that wasn't too cringe, me reading a poem in a, you know, a performative voice. And yeah, that's the poem. I don't want to be some entrepreneur, but I also want to encourage you to hang on to your dreams in the face of difficulties, and to continue giving your time to your reading and writing habit or habits, because yeah, there's skills which I believe can help deliver you to a better place faster, no matter where your passions lie. So I hope this helped to give you some motivation for you know, if you're growing a YouTube channel, trying to grow a YouTube channel, to keep doing that. If you're trying to develop a reading and writing habit, to keep doing that. As always, leave me comments. I want to thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your willingness to give some time and attention to this channel. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you next time.